Ancient traditions describe a deep human drive to find what they call glory, a state of light and life that feels just out of reach. We find ourselves searching for a transformation that bridges the gap between our current state and something better. But this search hit a wall early on. Biblical texts explain that God's most profound reality is largely invisible to physical eyes, remaining shielded from our direct observation. Moses experienced this barrier firsthand on Mount Sinai. He is the primary example of a human encountering this invisible divine presence. The encounter left his face glowing, but that radiance was temporary. Because the glory was fading, Moses used a heavy veil to hide his face, masking the fact that the light was disappearing. This created a problem. Humanity cannot be changed by a light they are barred from seeing. If the glory is veiled, the connection is broken. As long as that veil of separation exists, human transformation remains stalled. Without a direct view of the source, there is no path toward that likeness. Christ enters the narrative to solve this problem of the hidden God. The book of Hebrews identifies him as the express image of the invisible God. This means that in Christ, the invisible qualities of the Creator become visible. To look at the Son is to see the Father clearly. Because Christ reveals the divine presence so perfectly, the ancient veil of separation is finally and completely removed. This changes the entire human experience. Instead of shielding themselves from a fading light, people are now invited to look with an unveiled face at a glory that doesn't dim. Encountering God is now an open, direct observation. The barrier is gone, replaced by a clear view of Christ. It is easy to think of spiritual growth as an instant zap of energy from heaven, but the biblical model is more mechanical. It works like the relationship between a light and a mirror. This mechanism is called beholding to become. In this model, change is a continuous relational process. It happens through sustained connection rather than a one-time event. The observer acts like a mirror. By keeping an unveiled focus on the glory of Christ, they begin to reflect the qualities they are looking at. A sustained focus on Christ reshapes the observer. Bit by bit, their character begins to align with the geometry of his likeness, a progression Paul calls moving from glory to glory. Transformation is the slow, inevitable results of where we point our attention. We become like what we behold. Once the individual begins to reflect this light, the movement spreads outward. In the New Testament, this reflection goes a step further. Because Christ lives within the believer, they act as conduits, radiating his presence to those around them as children of light. This creates a spectrum of reflection. Just as a prism splits one beam of light into many distinct colors, different people reflect Christ's singular glory in unique ways, forming a unified whole without competition. This maps out a grand cosmic design. Light originates with the Father, perfectly manifests in Christ, and reflects through a massive community. The cycle completes when that unified reflection flows back in praise, inviting creation into the life it was meant to reflect. This entire engine is driven by a future promise that the incremental changes we see today will one day be finalized. The Christian journey is a lifetime of looking towards Christ to catch his reflection, grounded by the hope that we will be fully like him the moment we finally see him as he is.